Welcome to this episode of Video Drone by DIY3DTech.com. We're back out here. We've got a tug coming down. We should have a ship coming up, so I'm going to put the Mavic up in the air, see if we can get some video of this. I've already checked air map and did my maintenance checks. So I'm going to go ahead, do precision takeoff, get this guy in the air. And I'm going to start video recording. I might try some active track experimentation too, so let's head it out this way. And I'm going to take it out this way, and I'm going to try to get a little bit more altitude on it, get it out over the water. And let's get it this way. And I think there's the tug. So what I'm going to do is I am going to try active track on this tug with a little bit smaller target. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to activate active track, and then I'm going to highlight this, and it still says subject out of range, but I'm going to go ahead, activate spotlight mode. I want to hit the button to focus, and I'm going to try tracking that. Now this seems to be tracking pretty well. So this one seems to be doing better. I just think the ships are a little bit too big. So we're going to track this one on its way down. And we're just checking it on its way down. And it's doing a good job tracking. This one, it's doing a good job. Again, I think the ships are just way too big. It's passing right out in front of me. And so, I don't know, it's some kind of little buoy tender. It's got a little arm on the back of it. So, and again, you notice it's getting closer, it's getting bigger, so I think it's taking into account its wake. Look how big the bars are getting. And let's see, is it going to lose it? No, I don't think so. So this is working better, Stan. The smaller boat, the little tug, it's working because you can see it kind of coming back in on it. And I'm waiting to see if once it gets turned down lake, see if that ship's coming up, if we can see that ship yet. And again, I think pretty much I've lost it here. So active track, only does so much, Stan. And I think we have the other ship coming up. I'm gonna move it out, and I'm gonna try gimbaling it up a little bit. And the wind just decided to kick up. So we're going to do a digital zoom on this. So yep, we got her coming up. And so we'll get this one. Was going to try flying the Unique, but for some reason I had a binding problem with it. I haven't flown it yet this year. So I have to see what's up with that. Could be just user error. Again, these are just, the DJI are just so easy to use. And I'm going to kind of just reframe this a little bit. And again, I'm at 2x digital zoom here, so this guy is still a ways out. Get another focus on it. So he's coming up lake, so getting a good view of him coming up lake. And he's just sitting in there. So again, beautiful day out here on the water, flying. Can't complain. Just really great. So it's nice that it's warm out, and I'm not freezing my fingers off like I did in the winter time. So I want to make sure that I'm actually, I'm recording this. I just want to make sure I had my audio recording going. I use, even if I don't show the screen, I still use DU Screen Recorder to record the audio. And that's another thing, again, I was talking about the Autel in a previous flight. And thinking about getting it because the screen's integrated and everything, but I depend upon so much on the screen recording of this. So that's even like with the Unique. With its built-in screen is a really nice feature because it's all integrated. The ST16 controller makes me all feel so grown up and all that. But then again, at the end of the day, I can't really do screen recording. Now, I could sideload DU screen recorder on there. It is Android, but then, you know, how do I know I'm not going to screw up something else? And that is the flight controller for this bad boy, or that bad boy anyway. And so, anyways, this makes me a little bit concerned. Now, I've experimented with a DVR recorder, HDMI DVR recorder and that, but still, you know, that's again cumbersome, and it's a big controller on top of that and being tethered to a cable, and it's just like, really? The other thing I'm really hoping is that in the next Mavic and the Mavic Pro, they have a, you know, micro HDMI output for some goggles or something like that. So I've got the viewfind or whatever, that monocular. I really haven't a chance to use it because I bought it to use with the Unique, and since I really haven't been flying the Unique that much since I got the Pro, you know, I really haven't had the need for it. But I like the idea, and I wish that you know, there was a means to connect it to, you know, the controller itself and have that is the view. Now, one of the things I noticed, there is an HDMI out on the Solo, so I think I'm going to give that a shot soon with the Solo and see how that all works, and give that a try. So this guy's getting a little bit closer. Again, it's really funny, this perspective, even at 2x digital zoom, my view of the ship is far different than what you're seeing on the screen. I mean, it's like I can almost touch the ship, and you know, here it looks quite far away. And again, this is going to be coming up close, so I'm only about exactly about 300 feet away from me, so I'm just out over the edge of the water, watching this guy come up. And so I'm going to gimbal down whoops, always go the wrong way, so I want to gimbal down a little bit, kind of get the video of this coming by. As it sort of plies into frame, you know, I'll back off the zoom a little bit. So I'm trying to see what this is. I forgot to look on the Maritime app what what this is or who this is. So it's Canadian Steamship Line. I can see that printed on the side pretty easily from over here, but I got to wait for it to get a little bit closer to get the name. So anyways, so maybe I talked myself out of the Autel, you know, because camera-wise and everything, it's not, you know, it's not better than the Mavic Pro, and I already have the Mavic Pro. And so, again, I'm trying to think of reasons to buy, you know, something, you know, because if I buy it, if I spend $1,000 or so, you know, basically you're spending more than $1,000. You're probably 15 to maybe even 2 by the time you get, you know, 3-4 batteries, chargers, filters, cases, cables, you name it. You know, you want something that's different. Why would I want to buy something that's the same? And that's again why I struggle with the Mavic Air a little bit too. So this is the CSL, I think CSL Laurent. Anyways, I'd probably see it a little bit better. I got gabbing and I need to adjust my views here a little bit and pull this back up. But anyways, I want something a little bit better than what I have. And that does something a little bit different. And like if I, you know, okay, so the Mavic Pro's got rearward sensors. Have I ever had the need of rearward sensors? No, absolutely not. Never once. Forward sensors, yes. If you go back and look, and there's a Spark video where I almost run the damn thing into a tree. So yeah, forward sensors, definitely need, and so that makes sense. Back, you know, I think it's nice to have, but is it going to be a game changer? No, I don't think so. 100-bit versus 60-bit, you know, megabit a second or whatever for video feed? No. Is that going to be a game changer for me? No. So why would I want to buy the Mavic Air? Sorry. When I already have the Mavic Pro, you know, and again, so it's a little bit smaller. Okay, so I've traveled to California and everything with this thing. That little bit, I don't think is going to make a bit of difference. Oh, I'm gabbing to you, and I'm not watching the screen, not framing it up. So again, oh, that's a pretty picture right there, folks. Look at that. That is just too darn cool. That blue water. And whoops, going the wrong way, Joe. So I want to get want to get it centered with that refinery in the background. There you go. There's an interesting picture as it sort of drifts in the frame. Right about there. That looks really cool. Looks really cool. I like that a lot. Anyways, she's so I'm now basically down to standard view, because it is close. It is right out in front of me. I can touch this bad boy. You know, I'm probably less than 1,000 feet from it. There goes some speedboat. You'll be able to see it here in a second. There, a cigarette boat passing it. So it's giving it a little bit of yaw to kind of keep pace. And we're just kind of keeping pace as it goes up the lake. It just fills the screen as it's right out in front. I could touch this guy. Anyways, so as I was saying, you know, I'm just, that's where I'm really struggling with. I still contend DJI needs to come out with a sub 350 drone with GPS, much like the Hubsan 502. I think that would be a crazy seller. I would buy one in a heartbeat. You know, say a $250, even $300 price point to make it serious. And even possibly if it has brushed motors, so long as the motors are easily replaceable, I'm in. Because I just think having something that compact, that lightweight, that cool, and again, even if it doesn't have a gimbal, I'm actually good with that. Digital stabilization, but it's got to be at least a 1080p camera. None of this 720 nonsense. I mean, that went out with the dark ages. Come on, folks. But, you know, fixed camera, 1080p, maybe throw in digital stabilization. Even that wouldn't be a deal breaker if it didn't have digital stabilization. But do a little, speaking of focus, give it a little focus on it there. But, you know, that I think would be really an excellent drone. Definitely a good entry level, because I personally think the Mavic Air, the idea behind that was to replace the Spark, because the Spark was too successful. And that may sound odd, but it was too successful at too low of a price point. And I think it diluted DJI sales. You know, because really there's no reason to buy a Phantom 4 unless you really have a professional use for it. You know, the Phantom 3 line, you can still get them, but it's pretty much dead, because if you're going to get a Phantom 3, just get a Spark. It's pretty much about the same and probably better off. And, you know, you get a little bit more flight time, but it's just, the 3 is so big and bulky. It's just kind of crazy, and for what you get, it's just not worth it. And you got to use the older Go app, and yeah, just not worth it in my book. So, you know, really, their new flagship lines are really becoming, you know, the Spark, the Mavic Air, and the Mavic Pro. And then you have the Matrix. It has, how do you say it, Matrix-y line or whatever, in the upper kind of commercial and prosumer level, and you know, those are a whole different, that's a whole different gambit. But you know, the part is, you know, if you compare the Air to the Mavic, the Mavic Air to the Spark, what are you really getting? You know, really not that much more per se. Okay, so it's foldable and you get, you know, 4K and some other technical stuff. You know, again, I'm not sure. So, but again, I could see having, you know, they drop the price point of the Air, replace the Spark with it, and then replace, you know, and then come in with the, you know, where they have the Tello, one a little bit up by that. I think they wasted their time and effort with the Tello, even though it's branded as a third party. You know, it's a third party rebrand. I just think they're wasting their time with it. I think they could, you know, have done a far better job coming out with about a $250 target, you know, under 350 gram drone, no FAA registration to it, 180p camera, no gimbal, preferably small brushless motors. If you can't do the small brushless, brushed but as modular units so they're easily replaced by the common man, I think would be great. So I'm at 2x, so this guy is flying off into the distance, and it's getting about dinner time. So I am going to bring this guy home, and I'm gonna go get some dinner. So heck with lunch. Lunch is long past, so I'm just gonna issue return to home, let it bring up and come in on its own, and we'll see what happens. And so we're just bringing it back so you can kind of see a little bit of Port Huron scenery. And we're just bringing it back. And we're right above us. And we should be starting to come down. And we are. There's geese flying right straight at me. See them right there, right in my flight path. You guys are violating FAA law, I assume. Are you registered? All right, so we're bringing it down. I think it's coming down. Yeah, it's counting down. Sun's in my eyes a little bit. There it is. And that's quite a ways off for precision. So I ended the automatic land, so I'm gonna just land it myself and bring it down. Wow, all of a sudden the wind's kind of kicked up. Back this up a little bit. And we're gonna set it down right there. Perfect. I'm gonna save out the video. Video saved out. So, hey, another great flight, another great ship on the water. So, hey, let me know what you guys are thinking about for lunch. I know what I'm thinking about for dinner. It's going to be roast beef tonight, carrots. Wife made an astonishing dinner. So I'm going to go get some, and we'll see you guys the next time. You know what? We go fly. Cheers, and see you then.